Let's get her on.
All right, man. Well, welcome to my podcast. I think the last time we talked, I had probably just started the media company. This was probably just an idea at the time.
Yeah, man. And I was tuning into your clips and your videos and whatnot, and catching some of your motivational speech. It was.
Nice, but your story is the reason I wanted you on here because it's inspired me, and we've only known each other for a little bit. But before I get into your story is what I'm interested in because it's super motivational, super inspirational. But I want to tell everyone how we met because I think that is an inspirational story to me,
For
just
sure.
because of how my life is. So before I jump into your story, I just want to tell the listeners a little bit of how we met. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a recovering alcoholic. I go to AA. I'm not promoting AA. That's how I got better. And so part of the service when I first got into it for my home group was they asked me to man the phone lines, which is an emergency phone line where, if you're an alcoholic in trouble or a drug addict in trouble, you can call this line and someone will talk to you or direct you to a meeting or something like that. That is the exact way that I got into AA. When I got here, I Googled AA and they sent me to the helpline, and that's how I got connected. So anyway, I was manning the phone lines, and one day we got a message from Tom. He was looking for some help with drinking. And I'm like, cool. That's an opportunity for me to help someone. So we ended up linking up. He was in town on business. He comes from somewhere else, and he was only here for a minute. So I drove down and I met him for dinner or lunch or something, and we just kind of chatted and basically just started a relationship. We just kind of connected like that on our mutual understanding of I'm an alcoholic and I'm trying to recover from it. At the time, he was struggling with some drinking. So that was kind of how we connected. And then, we just kind of stay connected like that. He went off and did his thing. Maybe a year later, I called you, I think. Something
Okay.
like that, just out of nowhere and checked on you. And you were still doing good. You're like, oh, I'm just getting into all this fitness stuff and this David Goggins. You kind of introduced me to David Goggins. And I thank you for that because he's a nutcase. But he's super inspiring. So after that, I checked in with you once, and then a couple years have gone by now, right? And then the other day, I was at the gym. I was like, what's up with Tom? What's going on with Tom? So I gave Tom a call and he answered right away. He's like, bro, I got so much shit going on. You're gonna love this. And he told me a bunch of stuff that's going on, and I kind of wanted to share that with you. But I love the whole progression of that story. Just staying connected. We met over a mutual issue that we have, and we've really only talked a few times, but he has inspired me so much throughout the 4 years, not even talking to me, that I love his story and the stuff that he shared with me the other day. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So Tom Pryjda, thanks so much. Is that how I say it? Tom
That's
Pryjda?
how you say, man.
All right. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. That's my best recollection of how we met. I'm not sure if it goes down like that in your head, but
It's
yeah,
exactly how.
man. But I'd love to hear your story, more of it, because I don't know that much about you anyway.
Yeah,
But
for sure. To kind of tack on a little bit about how we met and what kind of headspace that I was in when we actually met. I separated from the Army in 2019. In 2018, I failed a drug test for marijuana. And at 18 years, I thought, wow, my life is over. I didn't have any sort of direction of which way I was going to do, but I was introduced to David Goggins 1 year before I got out. And I read Can't Hurt Me. And I hadn't read a book since high school. And yet here I am 20 years later reading a book, or listening to a book at least. And I'm bawling my eyes out listening to this story because it just broke me down. And I had never realized in my entire life until that moment and how weak I was. And when I was getting kicked out, I'm here. I'm at the same time I'm realizing how weak I was. And I signed up for my first marathon before I even finished the book. So 2 months after I got out of the military, after I got separated from the Army, I ran my first marathon. And then I moved to Denver, Colorado.
so
When I
fitness
got,
wasn't part of your story before the David Goggins story?
nope, not at all.
That's nuts. Okay,
Nope.
keep going. That
Nope.
was crazy.
And so when I was in the military, I did the very least amount possible that I could do at physical fitness and PT and whatnot. When I'm at physical training and whatnot, I did the very least. I did the smallest rotations. I just tried to get out of it as much as I possibly could. All the way up until my entire military career, I feel like I did that. And then when I got out, I had this sort of choice. I moved to Denver, and then I just picked a road of drugs. And I realized that, hey, this Goggins thing, it just kept screaming in the back of my head. Hey, Goggins is like, hey, you're weak your whole life. Why do you keep taking this weak decision? Why do you keep taking this weak route? And then before too long, I realized that, hey, it wasn't sustainable. And then I got accepted into an Amazon robotics apprenticeship program. So I went out to Raleigh, North Carolina for 3 months. And I realized that leading up to that 3 months, I was like, hey, this is my opportunity to make a chance. I'm going to go out to Raleigh for 3 months and I can get rid of this stuff out of my life. The 6 months leading up to that Raleigh trip, I realized that alcohol was the gateway to many bad decisions in my life. I felt like that every decision that had led up to point, every bad decision in my life that had led up to that point was either influenced by alcohol or drugs. And I'm just like, wow, I've got to make a decision in my life. And then Raleigh was that decision. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm done with it. How can I start this new life? And that's when I met you, man. I was just like, I told you, I was like, hey, man, I realized that this alcohol stuff, it's the gateway. I can't have one drink without wanting more, 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 more. And ever since seeing you, man, I've been clean from alcohol for 3 years, man. It's one of the most.
Take no credit for that. No credit for that. I was just doing like what the program taught me, which is to help someone that is in need. And I don't know, it's such a beautiful story. That I love that when you told me they were still sober after 3 years. It's like, man, how powerful is that? Like, you have nothing to do with AA, but that's one of the things that I was taught. Like just help somebody when they're in need. So I love that. That's crazy that you were not into physical fitness before a David Goggins book. It's awesome how you told me about a Tony Robbins thing the other day. I watched it and I feel like it changed my life. I started journaling and I did breath work this morning as a first thing before I looked at my phone, before I did anything like that. I checked out the priming thing. I didn't do it because I was at the gym and I was embarrassed to do all those weird things, but I'll get it.
Yeah, do that by yourself in the living room or something.
Yeah. Not a good look, but I just love it. It was super inspiring. So where did you grow up and how did you grow up?
Yep. I grew up in Vero Beach, Florida. I did a lot of moving from Ohio to Florida, Ohio to Florida, Ohio to Florida. I think by the time I was in 6th grade, I had probably moved 10 times from Ohio to Florida back and forth. And then finally settled down from 6th grade all the way till high school. Graduated high school in 2000 and unsure of the direction that I wanted to go. I remember military recruiters hitting me up and I give them the stiff arm and like I wanted nothing to do with them. I told them whatever I could to get them off of the phone or get them out of my presence. I took that almost a year off, did some concrete work with my brother and said, yo, I'm not built for hard work.
Back-breaking work.
So then I joined the military and then I joined as a parachute maintenance technician. So my first 12 years I was a parachute maintenance technician where just packing parachutes, I had over 10,000 pack-ups.
Did you know if you went to buckedup.com right now and used code McMedia1 at checkout, after you've selected any one of the hundreds of fitness products or awesome apparel that they have, you can save huge. MCMEDIA1 at buckedup.com.
My first unit. I made it to the pinnacle of my field, to the Army parachute team, the Golden Knights, which is the equivalent to we are the official aerial demonstration unit, so equivalent to the Blue Angels and the Navy the Air Force Thunderbirds. Traveling 260 days out of the year, jumping into air shows, football games, baseball games, things like that. I've jumped into Yankee Stadium twice, and Miami Dolphins twice, and Chicago White Sox, and a handful of others. Bunch of fun.
How cool is that?
Right?
What's that feel like, dropping into a stadium? I've done skydiving once, and that was one of the best experiences.
I'll tell you what, high school football stadiums on a Friday night get louder than major league stadiums. It's so cool. You can hear
I
high
bet,
school
actually.
stadium at 3,000-4,000 feet screaming their lungs off. You can still.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool. So you didn't do drugs until you got out of the military?
No.
Or was it during?
Right after I graduated high school, actually. There was about that year that I did a lot of experimenting during that time.
Okay. And just got hooked up and caught up in the life, right?
Yep. And yeah, it was just something I got complacent with in the military, and I felt like that I deserved it. I mean, how selfish is that? Is that when I was a pilot for the Army, flying Black Hawk helicopters. So after I left the parachute team, I went to flight school and started flying helicopters. And half the pilots that it was frustrating because this is what I told myself. I would come in the morning and half the guys would be still smelling of booze, even though we had limits on, hey, when you had bottle to throttle and there was certain time frames. It's like, hey, these guys are allowed to come in here and be whatever it is they did the night before. Hey, I can do the same things. Leading up to my drug test failure, there were multiple occasions where I had used marijuana just because like I said, I was complacent. I was telling myself these lies over and over again, and I believed them.
Right. And it seems like something I identify with your story and mine is like the way I see that I was able to quit. It started with a decision. You too, because you made a phone call based on a decision. It wasn't like, I'm going to try to quit. It was, you made the decision, I'm going to quit. Now what? Now, how do I get to the next part of that? And the reason I'm bringing that up is there's been a big theme on my podcast about people afraid to take that step. Kind of a lot of the same stuff that Tony Robbins talks about. And it seems like it's an epidemic, especially among men. A lot of men that I know, like they have all these dreams, they have all these aspirations, they do have ambitions, but doing that, getting to that first part where they can start seems impossible for a lot of men in my life. Have you experienced that? Do you know anything about that?
I love how you say that in decision. You said decision there like 5 times, because every single day, every single person has a decision. We have a decision on what we're going to do with that day and how we're going to spend that time and how we're going to show up in life. We have that decision. We have hundreds, if not thousands of decisions every single day where we have that decision on how we're going to show up every single day. We all have excuses that we can take and say, I can't do X, Y, and Z because of excuse A, B, and C. We all have that ability. And it's so easy to do that. I can just sit back and do nothing, and I can complain about all the things in my life, and I can have all these excuses. Oh, I got kicked out of the military. I wasn't good enough. I have all these excuses of things that I can do. We all have them. We all have these excuses. But at the end of the day, we have decisions as well. I had a decision where I could have taken that decision to that road of drugs. I could have taken that road where I could just sat back and just let life take over me, and I could just sit in the passenger seat or even in the back seat on how life was going to happen. But I have the decision every single day. I make that decision to get up and choose the things that I think about. Choose what it is that I think about. Choose the task. Choose the suffering. I choose my suffering. So when life punches me in the face, it's just kind of like, what? This isn't suffering. This is life.
I chose this. I wanted this. Yeah.
Yes. So with the Goggins thing, it's like I choose my suffering every single day. And it's just, I just love the life. So one of the things I wanted to share with you about some of the habits. I love talking about habits. The habits that we have in our life are who we become. So the habits that you have is who you are. I start my morning every single day with a 5-minute journal. This is my Tony Robbins priming has gone from a 15-minute exercise to about a 5-minute exercise. Every single morning I get up and I talk about the things that I'm grateful for, the things that would make today amazing.
Daily affirmations.
Yeah, daily affirmations. So for this morning, I'm grateful for a life of freedom decisions. I have decisions in my life. I'm grateful for those decisions. I have the choice to choose the things that I do in my life. A lot of people don't have that. A happy puppy. My dog makes me smile every day. I can't. I'm always grateful for her.
No, I want to point that out. That some people may say that that's a little thing, but this is the habit practice. This is the practice. If you can get in the habit of noticing everything and trying to put some gratitude on it, it does change things. I'm not saying I'm an expert on it, but I just wanted to add that to what you were saying.
Yep. And then like those that want to listen, I'm grateful for those that want to listen. I was so fueled about our conversation that, hey, you want to listen? I'm grateful for the people that want to listen to this sort of stuff. Another thing that I do every day, this is my habit tracker. I track my habits every single day of the week, every single day of the month. And let me talk to you about some of the things that I track and why these things are so important to me and how they make me. First thing, journal. Did I touch that journal? Set priorities first thing in the morning. When I set priorities, it's your brain wants to feel accomplished. If you have all these aspirations and dreams and all these things that you have that are just somewhere off in your mind and you don't ever put it on paper and say, hey, I want to accomplish these things, it's always going to stay out here and it's like it's going to be a figment of your imagination that never comes true. So I want to feel accomplished with the things that I do in my life, whether it's just picking up a phone call and calling the movers or something like that. Physical fitness. Non-negotiable every single day. Non-negotiable every single day. I don't give myself an option to have a discussion with myself whether I'm going to do physical fitness or not. It's just something I do. It's who
That's
I am.
important. That's another decision. Like you've already made the call. Like I'm doing this every day. It does not matter.
Yes.
Does not matter.
Yep. Doesn't matter my condition. It doesn't matter how tired. Excuses.
Yep. Emotional state, physical state, anything doesn't matter. If your arm is broken, your leg is broken, you can still go do some shoulder work.
Yes,
There's
sir.
some stuff.
I love that. I want to get closer with audiobooks and professional development programs. So all I'm requiring to get that little bubble is 15 minutes. So if I put on an audiobook or Tony Robbins or whatever, 15 minutes, I get to fill that bullet in. My 10,000 steps. And here's where it gets really fun. I have a bullet here that says, enjoy the presence of people. That means that I just get out of this house, get out of my apartment, and I go walk downtown in the city, and I enjoy the presence and sociality of other people. I don't have to necessarily communicate with them, but that's where my next bullet comes in. Do a kind act for others. It is a thing for me where I want to do at least one kind act for somebody else every single day. When you go through your life and you go through a day like, oh shit, it's 5:00 in the afternoon and I haven't done a kind act for somebody, and you're trying to do something really nice. If you start your day out trying to do something nice for somebody, you would not believe it comes back to you in tenfold. You're trying to do all these nice things for people, and it's like, hey, I'm not doing anything nice to you yet. I'm trying to get an opportunity to do something nice for you, but you keep doing something nice for me. It's amazing.
Give me a chance. Let me help you out.
It's amazing. And I like to read a devotional and a stoicism. So I'm reading a 365 devotional and a 365 stoicism by Ryan Holiday called The Daily Stoic. Amazing. And then I like to at least say one prayer. I want to put it on paper that I at least say one prayer to my greater power. And right now, something about physical attributes, I want to floss and mouthwash. Because if I don't put it on here, I won't do it. If I don't put it like...
That's self-awareness, right? Like, if you know that about yourself, you should probably write that stuff down.
So these are my daily habits. These are the things that I do, and this is how I track it, and this is how I feel better about my accomplishments, and this is how I turn towards tomorrow and say, okay, what else can I accomplish tomorrow? I did all this today. What can I do tomorrow?
Right. I want to say this about journaling, too, because journaling was a huge part. When you met me, I was heavily journaling up until the last year. When me and my ex got back together, it kind of veered away, so I stopped. But here's what I noticed when I stopped. My life, I wouldn't say, well, no, it did kind of fall apart. It fell apart. But the reason, it's not because of journaling, but the reason it is relevant is because when I'm journaling, the way that I journaled at that time, I would have a constant list of everything that I did today and what I wanted to do. So when I'm writing the next one, I am looking back at that other one. Oh, crap, I didn't do that thing. Or I did do that thing, and I have a moment to be proud of myself. Like, I did accomplish my list yesterday. Now I celebrate on purpose, like very intentional. You have to, pat yourself on the back for things that you do good, but try not to punish yourself for things that you do wrong,
Very much
That's
so.
just something I want to add.
I love that out there on an accomplishment of the list there is, I actually had a buddy call me and he was all over the place. And I was like, well, first, bro, what's on your list? And he started naming off all these things. I'm like, can you complete any of those things today? No. Okay, then get them off your list. Let's first start with things that you can complete today.
Realistically, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Let's start with something super stupid, simple, easy. I mean, when this is starting, like if you were to, this list right here would probably overwhelm a lot of people and give some people anxiety, like, oh my God, you do that many things in your day. It certainly did not start from this. It just started with, hey, can I just sit down and just journal? I mean, it didn't even start with that. Hey, can I just put this thing in my hand 30 times a month?
Right.
And then you just build and build.
That reminds me of my workout journey. When I first started working out 3 years ago, I would go sometimes, like I would have so much anxiety just going to the gym, feeling that I would be unaccepted by people at the gym, that I would pull up and just sit in the front and then leave. Like I wouldn't even go. Sometimes I would go in and just walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes and then leave. Like my entrance into the fitness world was so slow. It took me about a year and a half just to get all the way in and start working out like a normal person. So like the journey of changing is very, very small steps, small habit changes, in my opinion.
Yep. And I say that the most important moments of any activity is the first 3 minutes, especially if it's something you don't want to do. If you don't want to go for a run, you don't want to go for a gym, and you don't want to do any of that stuff because you're going to have that discussion with yourself every single day. I don't want to go for a run. But if you actually get off the couch, start walking over to the front door, grab your shoes, sit down, we're already at 30 seconds right there. The 3 minutes started the second you stood up from that couch and said, okay, I'm going to commit to this thing. Those first 3 minutes from the time you stand up and you walk over and you lace in those shoes up, those are the most important 3 minutes. Because after you put those shoes on and you walk outside the door, everything, you've showed up.
It's already been made. The decision's already made.
You're there. You're there. Now the decision is, how am I going to show up? Am I going to show up like a slug and just continue this thing? Or am I going to snap out of it, set the world aside, set my life aside, set electronics aside, get life aside, and focus on me? I like to look at this thing as, you got to be a little selfish to be selfless. Amen. Let me go over here and do my thing. Let me do my thing so I can come over here and give you all of me. I want to be selfish to be selfless. I want to give you all of me right now, everything.
Love that
concept. Let me go here and do this.
Absolutely. That's very necessary. It's kind of the same concept of when you're on an airplane, your mask drops. They say, put your mask on first before you try to save your kid, you know? So, yeah, I get it. Hey, I wanted to share my journal entry from today just to kind of give an example to the listeners. Hey, if you guys made it this far in the video, please hit subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments. You know I do a lot of political stuff most of the time, but this story that we're sharing right now is the reason I started this media company and this podcast, is to share motivational stories, inspiration, that kind of stuff. Because that's the road I'm on, and I want to give that to as many people as possible. So hit subscribe. Let me share this journal entry with you. And I talked to myself this morning. I said, good morning, Chris. I had some good sleep last night, and I'm grateful. Thank you, Lord, for my businesses, my work ethic, my family, my apartment, and the fellowship of AA people. Thank you for letting me meet with Quintus yesterday. It's a friend. I will approach today with kindness, love, empathy, and treat everyone I come across with respect. I will find opportunities to make money for my family and dig myself out of this debt hole. A little too much information, but hey, it's my journal. I will be helpful to my community and my family. Thank you, Devin, for how this music goes when we do it. Today, I will follow up with some work stuff for money. And thank you for allowing me to meet Tom. Oh, I thanked you in there. I still don't know where this is headed, but I want to find out. Thank you for letting me be here for my daughter and her family. Thank you for the program. Thank you for my drive and ambition. Please help me see things clearly and make good decisions. Please allow me to be the financial freedom for my family. I pray for the strength to dream big, the perseverance to try again, your comfort when I don't succeed, and your graciousness when I do. So that was just my journal entry today. I'm not going to share all of them with you, but just as an example, I think if you hear an example, it'll be more motivating for you to do it.
Very much so. And I just love the vulnerability. I love the adjectives one after another in there. You're giving description of your life and how you want to show up in the world. You just went off on all the things in your life. You just went over your values and everything that was important to you and put it right there at the beginning of your day and said, hey, this is what's important to me. This is what I want my brain to think about. It's amazing. It's
how this morning went. Because of you, we talked, was it yesterday? And you kind of gave me this, before you look at your phone idea. So when I got up this morning, the first thing I did was do a 5-minute breath work exercise my drummer sent me. And then I hopped right to my computer and did my journal. And then I looked at my phone and started my day, went to the gym and all that stuff. And I found this was the first time I've done that. And I felt much more guided today. Like I had more purpose just going to the gym, it felt great. So I appreciate you for that. That's why I want to keep you in my life, Tom.
Man, I absolutely love that. And I kind of want to share one story here about where I'm at right now.
Absolutely. I want you to tell me what you're about to do. That was the story I wanted to hear too. You're about to go crazy.
So December was my last Tony Robbins event. So November, just recap the last 6 months real quick. November, I went to Las Vegas and did Unleash the Power Within with 9 other veterans. We were in one room with a massive TV, immersed into Tony Robbins' world for 4 days, watching it live on a TV. There were like 30,000 people live in person, and then like another 40,000 across the planet, all tuning in live. When I first saw that I had the opportunity to go to another Tony Robbins event 3 weeks after that, I was like, wait a minute, that's 3 weeks after this event. There's no way in heck I can ask for another week off. I was working for Amazon at the busiest time of the year. It's after Black Friday. It's right there in the beginning of December. It's the most busy time. Okay, so this event is called Unleash the Power Within. The second day ends, and I'm kind of like, why is this called Unleash the Power Within? I'm still not grasping it. Day 3, it's called Breakthrough Day, and it's like, your brain just kind of, and you're like, I get it. I'm unleashing the power within. I get it.
Yeah.
So then I started to look at this thing 3 weeks later, and I'm like, gosh, like maybe I should take a look at this. By day 4 of this Tony event, I'm like, it no longer was, hey, I need to take a look at this. It turned into, I must do this. I have to do this.
Hell yeah.
So I went to my boss. I was so ready. I was considering, hey, what if he says no? Okay, I quit.
Yeah.
I quit. That's how committed I was. When I told him, he had seen the 3 weeks prior leading up to this, and he's like, well, of course. So I was like, awesome. So then I was connected through a veteran outlet, and then a week prior, so the tickets are $7,000. A week prior, it's 6 days as well. It's only 6 days, and it's $7,000. And then I get a call from Tony's crew saying we're going to comp your ticket.
Oh my God.
So then I get to go for free.
What?
And then I stay with a friend from high school 20 minutes from the venue. Even more mind-blowing. So I left a date with Destiny saying, this is so amazing. How do I give this feeling to other people? How do I share this? How do I give them this? So leading up to now, so I wanted to give it back to veterans through physical fitness because that's what it makes me feel good. So I want to give that feeling back to other people. So I went to a personal trainer course in Bentonville, Arkansas in April. It's a 3-week course where I was no internet, no communication with outside. You're in the middle of nowhere with about 20 other veterans getting extremely vulnerable. I've never shared so many vulnerable stories in my life. And it was just so moving to have this communication and connection with other people that it's a certified personal trainer course, but like 10% was physical fitness. It was way more about the connection with individuals. So I graduate this course in April, motivated to be a personal trainer. I fill out one application. I have one interview. I knock it out of the park. A week later, I get a call saying, hey, you don't have enough experience in the industry. Me, this really motivated guy, I was ready to start dropping resume, application. I was just ready to go buck wild. And I didn't do that. I sat on my ass for 3 weeks and did zero, did nothing. And I kept thinking about these trips that I wanted to make overseas that they kept getting canceled. About 5 years ago, I made a commitment. I want to get out of the country once a year to go to an ultra marathon on somewhere on the planet I've never been. I've failed that 2 years in a row because of whatever excuse it is that I can continue to tell myself, whether it's life or job or family or whatever. These things keep getting canceled. These things that I made a pact to myself that, hey, this is how I want to live my life. I want to get out of the country. I want to suffer in an ultra marathon and a part of the planet that I've never been. Why is it that these things keep getting canceled? And I look around my apartment and I have a 2-bedroom apartment just filled with stuff, couches and desks and beds and dressers and tons of stuff. I'm anchored by all this stuff. So after sitting and doing nothing for a month, I decided, you know what? I'm going to live my life. I'm going to sell everything. I'm going to put everything in storage. I want to keep some things. I've got a grandfather clock. I've got a nice bedroom suite. I've got this awesome desk and all these computers and all my DJ equipment. I'm going to save all my electronics, putting everything in storage my lease ends here in less than 60 days. We're talking about 50 days now, putting everything in storage. I'm going to a follow-up course of the Certified Personal Trainer course in October. So it's a 3-week integrated health coaching course. So I want to launch with that mindset of being a health coach.
Nice.
And then I'm going to launch from Travis Air Force Base around November 1st. Use the military space aid benefits to get me as far as Guam. I'm going to get to as far as Guam, and then I'm going to hop on over to Malaysia. I'm going to start at Mount Kinabalu, and then I'm going to end the year with about a 5-week Muay Thai training course in Phuket, Thailand. So I basically have the end of the year planned, but nothing. I mean, I'm on zero timeline. I know that I want to go to Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam, and I have all these things that I want to do and see. But I'm going to be like here a week, there a week, 3 weeks there, 2 weeks here. It's just, I don't have a plan. And this is it's like I've failed at living my life. And it's like, screw everybody else. I'm going to make this leap and just do whatever the heck it is that I want to do. And at the end of the day, this whole thing is for training. I have dreams of one of the hardest races in the country. It's called the Leadville 100. Talked about in Born to Run and also David Goggins' newest book, Never Finished. This is my Rocky for Russia moment. I want to go to my
Tell
own
me about the
place.
race. What makes it so hard?
Okay, so Leadville 100 is very well known. Like I said, it was in Born to Run. It's 100 miles. It's a 50 miles out, 50 miles back. It's in Leadville, Colorado, at the highest town in the United States. So we're at 10,200 feet. The race starts at 10,200 feet. So you're already really
You can't
high,
breathe. You can't breathe at
right?
all.
So it's about 40 miles out. Then you have a 3,000-foot vertical climb that you got to go up and then down, go cross a river, and then turn around, go back over that 3,000 foot, and then it's got a 30-hour cutoff. So the biggest thing about it is about 4,000 people put in the lottery every year. 100 are selected. 70% fail. So it's a very high fail rate. And I'm glad. So I've been in the lottery the last 3 years, and I have not gotten in the lottery. And I'm so glad that I haven't, because I don't think I would have. I probably would have been in that failure rate. Because my last K, I did 100K last year in Oregon. That took me 17 hours and 43 minutes to complete, which was 62 miles. And at that pace, I think that I could have completed it 100 miles, but I don't think I could have completed it in 30 hours.
It is very hard for me to fathom anyone running 40 hours. What does that really look like? How do you go to the bathroom, eat? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, man. So the last one that I did, I had 5 stops, and that's almost 18 hours. And those 5 stops are any range anywhere from about 4 to 7 minutes. There's 3 things you're looking for. I want to get clean. Clean your face off, clean all the sweat, refuel. Whatever the fuel that you have on you, it needs to be replenished. So you need more
Electrolytes.
fuel. Yep. Electrolytes, protein bars, carbs, all that sort of thing. And then the third thing was, what can I eat right now? So you're gonna have the fuel with you that you take out, but give me a cheeseburger now. I want some noodles now. Give me something I can carry and eat right now, and I'll eat all that other stuff later. So those are the big 3 things. Peeing and all that stuff, that kind of just comes with the territory. You just go when you go. Like Forrest Gump says, I needed to go, I went.
Okay, that's revealing. So it's just happening. You see a field full of marathon runners. All I'm going to think is like, they all shit their pants, all of them.
Dean Karnazes, he's a famous ultramarathoner, and he talks about just kind of like angling his body and still running and still peeing.
Okay.
He doesn't even stop. He says he does it. He's like, I don't even get it on my legs or my shoes.
He's got the shit shimmy. He doesn't even slow down the run.
That's it.
That's awesome. When's your next big one?
Okay, so I'm running the Boulder-a-thon on September 28th. So I'm about 6 weeks out from my next marathon. So my first marathon was in 2019. I've ran many marathons since then, but they're all training runs, or they're part of an ultra run. I haven't actually said out, hey, I'm going to do a marathon. I did the Leadville Marathon last year. That's separate. That's a trail marathon. So this one's road. So I'm actually trying to PR. I've never ran a sub 4-hour marathon before, which is a 9-minute 6 pace. So
Per mile, 9-minute mile?
Yes, 9 minutes 6 seconds.
That's a good clip.
So I've never done that before. This will be the test.
Are you well trained? How much are you running every day?
Right now, I'm in a build phase right now. So I'm running about 25 miles a week right now. So that'll increase. And I'll probably do, my biggest run will be about 2.5, 3 hours. And that will probably be in about 3.5 weeks. That will be it. And then it'll start to be a taper.
So when you do a run, like a 3-hour run, you train for it. But after the run, can you run again the next day? Or what's your recovery look like for running?
So recovery, that will be a long day. So I work out 6 days a week as far as attacking my nervous system. But the 7th day is usually stretching, flexibility, mobility, that sort of thing. So very, very light on the nervous system. All this is how we tax the nervous system. So on a big day like that, my long runs are on Saturday. So on Saturday, I'll do a big run. I think it's like a 95-minute push this Saturday, and then Sunday is my day off. So that gives me the opportunity to get faith in my life, and then also sort of just get out of the house
and rest those muscles a little bit.
Yep. And then I have some compression pants. Are you familiar with these?
Yes, I've had those after my surgery, actually.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were filled with ice. Don't they just pump you?
Yeah, they go around your entire leg and foot, and they squeeze your leg. I mean, these things get massive. They come out several inches, and they squeeze each section. There's 5 different sections, and it squeezes towards your heart.
Oh, okay. It just kind of pumps it to your heart.
Yep.
Does it get cold?
No, it actually gets hot. So by the time
Okay.
if you're in those things for an hour and you pull those things off, yeah, my legs are pretty hot, sweaty by that time.
All right.
Especially if I do it after a run.
Yeah, I bet. Well, Tom, you're doing a bunch of stuff, man. It's super inspiring. I'm very glad. We should do this a lot, actually.
Yeah, man.
I want to put myself in a position financially to next time you decide to go on a little world tour, I want to go film it. I want to go make a bunch of content around it. And then we can also podcast about it. I mean, I see a lot of cool creative opportunities in our future, man. And I'm glad you were able to stay connected.
So I'm going to put you on the spot on your podcast then. So next August is Leadville 100. This is good. This is the biggest moment of my life. This is literally going to be the biggest moment of my life where I'm going to show up. So I'm looking for 4 people to run the last 10 miles, the last 40 miles. So I'm looking for 4 people to run 10 miles each for the last 40 miles.
I can run 10 miles or in a year I can.
And just think about it too, that 10 miles for me will be extremely slow. It'll just be, hey man, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. I mean, I can't imagine what sort of condition I'll be in at that moment, but.
Well, I'd like to try. Where is it? Leadville, Ohio?
Leadville, Colorado. So yeah, so you were just saying if you wanted to document something, that would there will
August.
be there will be camera crews galore out there. That's how popular this is. There will be, I would say, half the runners will have camera crews.
Yeah. Well, that'll be cool. Can you bring drones out and that kind of stuff? All right. Yeah. Well, let's plan on that. It'll give me a goal to work towards and save up for a little trip to Colorado and come support my homie. Yep.
And you were also asking about next event. So that next event is the Boulder-thon here in the United States. But man, when I looked at the marathons and 50Ks and ultra trail races across all those Asian countries that I want to go to, man, they all have them. So I'm going to be doing, I think that's the deal is I saw some flights that are like $10, $15, $20 just to fly from one country to the next. So it's like, shoot, I could take a weekend trip to go to run a race or something like that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. You want to say anything else to the Almost Above Average crew?
There were 2 things. I thought about 2 mottos or 2 things that I like to say in my life. And it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in war. Meaning, be dangerous but disciplined. Dangerous but disciplined. Be a bad mother, but be calm. Be peaceful. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Take a deep breath. Don't let anxiety get over you. Be dangerous. Be that person in the garden. Be that dangerous warrior sitting in the garden, thinking about how wonderful his life is, that he's here in a garden and not covered in blood. Be dangerous.
Well, all right, guys, stick around. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the Almost Above Average podcast. Anywhere you see this, jump in on a comment. And I'll link to Tom's website, and you guys can keep an eye on he has a blog going for his athletic situation, or what do you call it? Thons. So check it out. I'll link to him in the show notes. And thanks a lot, Tom. Let's stay connected, and we can do this whenever you want, man. That was super motivational. I hope the people like it. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
My pleasure. Let's do it anytime.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on today's conversation with Tom Pryjda. What a powerhouse story of grit, recovery, and pushing past limits. I don't know about you, but I'm walking away ready to level up my habits and chase something big. If this episode hit your heart, inspired you, or got you thinking about your own journey, here's what I need you to do. Drop us a quick 5-star review wherever you're listening. It takes literally 10 seconds, and it helps us bring more game-changing guests like Tom onto the show. And don't just keep one to yourself. Send it to a friend, a family member, or anyone who needs that extra push today. You never know whose life it might change. And I appreciate you being part of the Almost Above Average community. Keep showing up, keep grinding, and remember, it's okay to be almost above average, as long as you're always getting better. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm Chris McIntyre. See ya.